The hardest part about writing Paul's Undead was a lot of it comes out really quickly, and sometimes my fingers can't keep up with my brain, and there's a whole lot of misspellings, and it just gets very confusing. The easiest part was the same thing. It just flowed really nicely. It's a topic I love. I love zombies, I love the Beatles, and it was just a pleasure to write, and hopefully it'll be a pleasure to read. If one of the Beatles reaches out to me, the one thing we were very careful about in writing the book was to be respectful of the band, because I do love the band. I sincerely care about their music and their legacy and their mythology, but turning them into brain-eating death machines could be construed as being disrespectful. But I think they'll understand and appreciate where I was coming from. That said, if they do contact me, I'll probably soil my drawers. The future of mashup, a lot of people have talked about how it's getting a little bit stale. I completely disagree. I think at this point, it's a legitimate subgenre. You've got people doing really interesting things, not just taking the classics and putting vampires in them, but telling real stories. I'd like to think Paul's Undead is the first step in the second wave of mashup. I think it's got a long way to go. I think that eventually, not tomorrow, not next year, there's going to be a little section in the bookstore specifically for mashup, so I'm really excited to be a part of it. Jeff Brown is a Chicago illustrator. He actually lives, coincidentally enough, about a half a mile from my house, and I did not know that when I mentioned to the publisher that I think he would do a terrific job with the illustrations of the book, because he's very whimsical. Sort of realistic, but just a little off-center to match the tone of the book. And he read the book and he, laughed out loud, which made me feel good, because I'm sure that, he gets all kinds of stuff to read and doesn't necessarily always laugh out loud. And we worked together, picked out 10 scenes. We feel like they were the most visual scenes, very visual moments. He captured the spirit of the book beautifully. In my experience, the best way to survive an attack by undead classic rockers is to get yourself a Fender Stratocaster or Fender Jazz Bass, rip off the neck, then sharpen it to a point, and then if they come running at you, if you've got Mick Jagger coming this way, if you've got John Lennon coming that way, right in the heart. I'd like the people that read Paul's Undead to laugh and to vomit.